Penny, former prison worker. Ron, former warehouse worker. 2 sons and 4 children from Ron's first marriage, an adopted daughter. You have fostered 269 children in 47 years. Got an MBE from the Queen in 2010 for your services to fostering. So you know what you're doing. How much did you know about Ahmed?
Not an awful lot. I had been to the Home Office with him for 2 of his interviews, but I didn't do the first interview. And I wasn't aware that he'd told the Home Office that he was been trained to kill.
And that was the trigger, therefore, and he'd been through the government de-radicalisation programme. Again, something you knew nothing about. And you'd fostered and cared for other refugees.
Yes,
so this
he
was
was our 9th refugee.
As a couple, something you felt very passionate about, that
Yes.
here was a boy with a story that needed help, he needed a home.
Yes.
And what was he like as a person?
He was a lovely young lad. Very caring towards us.
Yeah.
When we went shopping, we'd pull up and he'd come running out and Ron would start getting the bags out. No, me do. I'll put those indoors. You just get indoors, I'll see to it.
Right, OK.
And then when we got indoors and we were ready to unpack, he would put the bags up so that I didn't have to bend down, so that I could unpack them as Ron was putting things away.
OK.
As Holly said, that he had actually said to immigration officers that he was trained to kill. In a statement from Surrey County Council, and I'll read the rest of it a little bit later, but at the beginning of it they say, we're sorry they didn't feel we didn't support them well enough, but we told them about Hassan's background at the time he was placed with them.
No. When he was placed, we were told that he'd got a mental condition, post-stress disorder, and that he needed to be... He'd been living on his own, and it wasn't for him. He needed to be somewhere where somebody cared about him. Mm. I didn't know anything about that. And as I say, I'd been to the Home Office twice with him and sat with interviews, stopped an interview because he got distressed with the... chap that was the interpreter was not doing it right.
Right, OK. Were there any, now looking back, I mean, hindsight is a wonderful thing, were there any clues in his behaviour of what he was doing? I mean, he was making a bomb under your roof. Looking back, did you ever have any clues as to his...
No.
Not a thing.
No.
Nothing which to make us suspicious of anything whatsoever.
And he'd never, because there was no discussion of a hatred of any part of this country?
No, nothing.
And so that day, that terrible day, you were away from home at the time?
We had been away from home. We were back the day that this happened.
Yeah.
And I'd said to him the night before, I've got to go out early in the morning. What time are you going off to college? He said, I start at 8:45, so I'll be out early. And he said, I don't need you getting under my feet. You know I'm a governor and I've got a meeting at school and I must be there on time. No. Came down at 7:15, said good morning to him, went into the loo, came out and he'd gone.
And that was the last you saw of him?
That was the last we saw of him.
And he didn't return, we now know why he didn't return after college that day, but he said he was staying with a friend, so alarm bells didn't ring there.
He said he was staying with one of my other refugees that I'd fostered that he was friendly with, and that he would see me sometime on Saturday.
Yeah, and then he didn't return, and you did report him missing at that point.
Yes, because I phoned the other lad and said, what time are you starting work because of him coming home? And he said, but I haven't seen him. He didn't come to college yesterday, and he certainly didn't come and stay with me as he was supposed to.
So you phoned the police and reported him missing.
Yes.
You're sitting at home expecting him to either come back or the police to arrive and say, we're investigating a missing persons.
Yeah.
That's not the level of police response that you got.
No. We were sitting watching a darts match, waiting for the police to come, and I'd said to Ron, I hope they're not much longer, because we haven't got much more left in the house to eat. We need to do a big shop. And then we got into this darts match. The phone rang and I answered it, and this voice said, this is the police. You are surrounded by armed police. Just put everything down and get out now. And I looked up and there was 2 eyes at the window and a gun.
How terrifying.
It turned out in the investigations that he'd taken your screwdriver kit and the knives from the kitchen and emptied out your pot of nuts and bolts and screws and things like that.
Yeah.
And built this bomb, as Holly said, built this bomb in his bedroom in your house.
I think he did some of it in the kitchen because the police took our kitchen table away, and when I asked when it was coming back, we were told because it had got the explosive stuff in it, we couldn't have it back.
And that's where you feel hugely let down as well, is the potential of this very volatile bomb in your home, in your neighbourhood, surrounded by people that you know that anything could have happened at any time.
Well, yes. I mean, either side of us, we've got children. One side, there's 3 girls, which we're their godparents, and the other side is 2 children that think we're lovely and just come in for a chat.
Yeah.
You know, and they did tell us that it was enough there to take the whole block down if he'd have done it correctly or incorrectly.
And also the other tragedy here is that as a couple who have fostered all your lives and know what an incredible thing that can be, is that the press of this puts out bad press for people wanting to help people in the future. Has it put you off fostering?
No. We will go back when we've had a rest and do respite and then go back into...
Would you foster another refugee?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't put you off?
What do you say to anyone who might have been thinking that they would foster and perhaps
please
might
don't
be
let
put
this. Please don't let this put you off. It's just a one-off, and that most of them are such lovely kids. They're desperate to have someone to care for them, someone to show them some affection, and somewhere safe to live.